don't get over that, right? You never forget that. And I didn't care if I ever did that again, because there's just something, because you're away from it, but yet you're hearing their voices over the radio, and it's the stuff that that medevac's supposed to be there, that aircraft's supposed to be there. Those enemy forces weren't supposed to be there, and it was right back at that again, except this time, no resources, no authority, no ISR, no access and placement, none of the things that you need to command and control a good operation.
Yeah.
You had none of it, and this kid is putting everything in us. That almost got me. So like you said, I didn't really know where to start. I just know I just needed to start. So I went to my office and I drew a course of action sketch on the board. I started with his safe house, the map. I had just a rough map I kind of had of the area. I indicated Taliban checkpoints along the way, trying to just think of what were the things just at a templated level that he was going to face from his safe house all the way to the United States. And once I did that, though, I actually felt better. Once I got it up on the board, I'm like, oh my God, this is impossible. But at least I see what it is. And then I took a picture of it, sent it to the other guys, and and we could start talking about something that was tangible at that point, even though it was extremely difficult. And we just started breaking it up into chunks. Okay, how are we going to move him across the city? And I was thinking, well, I've got a good set of relationships in Kabul. The Jamiat Islami network, the old Northern Alliance network of Mujahideen fighters, it's still strong. And I know people that are connected to that. We could get him a cab that'll move him with a Pashtun driver that knows the area, that has done the routes. And we did. And then we just took it chunk by chunk. We were like, well, he can move through the crowd. He's a friggin' commando. He'll get, and he's little, But what about, how are we going to get him past the guards? Who do we need to talk to there? What are we going to do that he doesn't have a visa? How are we going to get him manifested? And people just took different chunks of it. And we do what we do.
Was everybody special operations that was involved?
No. Congressman Mike Waltz, who is special forces and is a friend of mine, we fought together in Afghanistan. I called him, and he actually loaned us one of his staffers. Her name is Liv in the book. We changed her name. But she could, I knew we were going to need to kind of breach some doors on the political side and come in with some juice.
Wow.
And Liv agreed at the time. Now remember, a lot of congressional officials were getting involved. They were getting calls from constituents. So there were all these little command centers. I mean, even in the Joint Chiefs of Staff, the war room was silent, but the generals and admirals had little command centers running with their aides operating. It's the craziest thing. Everybody was doing this on the down low, trying to help their Afghan get out. And it was admirable, but it was chaotic.
Yeah.
So we got access to Liv, one other reporter who was a Washington insider, who had different relationships, but also knew Nizam, named James. And that was our team. And then 3 SF dudes. Mullah Mike, who was a battalion commander in Special Forces, active duty, that had fought with Nizam. Another guy I call Charles. He was in an interagency task force up in D.C., so he had good access and placement. And me. And that was our team starting out.
Let's talk about his journey. How long did it take? What did you do?
So, the thing is here's another thing that was interesting is we told him, take pictures of all your certificates and your tabs. He went to the Q course, so he has an SF tab.
Okay.
And the certificate of completion. And we said, take pictures of all that, send it to us. We're going to upload it on the cloud. Wipe your phone and burn all that stuff. So he starts a fire out in the backyard. That's actually how my book starts, is him burning all his stuff. When he got to the SF tab and the certificate, he couldn't burn it. So he stuffed it down in his gym bag. And the crazy thing is, I interviewed dozens of commandos, KKA, Afghan Special Forces. Not one of them burned their stuff when we told them to. They all carried it.
Wow.
And so that's, there was a lot of preparation that went in, but he had to move pretty quick when we decided to go.
Hey everybody, I'm Shawn Ryan. Click here to subscribe to the Shawn Ryan Show YouTube channel for the hottest and most compelling interviews that you will not see anywhere else. I've also made a playlist of all the previous SRS episodes so they're easy to find. You can find that right here.